This is a brand new format because why am I doing all of that with my hands? I'm putting up the text. I'm running the video. I'm setting up the notes. It's way too much. I've got to really think about who is my audience. That's you. I want to be fully locked in the mode to give you the best that I can. I think about that a lot when I'm working with somebody. What's our relationship after they pay me, for the month and they've moved on? What's our relationship after we're not doing business at all anymore? When I tell somebody that I'm making a long-term commitment to their business, I want to be able to have just some visual proof that I'm actually doing that. I want to make sure that I wasn't just a ship in the night, just talking to them abruptly, but I was somebody that genuinely cared about their progress. And so I've actually got some very good solutions, and I'm really excited to talk to people about it in the days, in the weeks, in the months to come. So stay tuned. And you know me, just for a fact, if I were to set my own expectations, I'd run myself ragged. And lots of people, if you don't have a marketing platform, you are setting your own expectations, which is one of the reasons why you're worn out. Luckily, I did not have to trust in myself because I had a very good lead generation system. So I was able to reach out to people, hear what they wanted out of weekly social media communication with their most important relationships. All right, here's a perfect example. When we talk about, a video that's for your most important relationships, I mean, you can see right here, Pathways in Health Technology, reaching out, thanking Kala Health for making DEI part of MedTech's DNA. You can see here, just talking to some college students, helping them get internships and stuff like that in technology, giving a little bit of understanding of what the event was. I could go on, and this is just lovely, right? A couple of these people also wanted to see images, right? Boom. And basically, my core idea is that the average person has so much that's going on in their life. They have so much experience, memory, identity, stuff to unpack. So that if you could even get the skim off the top 1% of what's going on in a single person for a cause that they really care about, that is really good. And that is what gives the average person who's like a working professional and not an eccentric artist peace of mind. I've been doing a great job of doing work like that over the last few months. And now I'm combining all of that stuff that you just saw into a single service. So stay tuned for a little bit more about that. I really recommend to everybody that you all read books. Books are just one of the easiest ways to convince somebody that you know what you're talking about, especially now. Just read part of a book once in a while, just when you feel like it. I promise you it's got some value. I was reading a book by Amy Whitaker, and she doesn't just exist in the world of a book. She did this video, and it's called Art Thinking, How to Carve Out Creative Space in a World of Schedules, Budgets, and Bosses. It's a good title. One of the things that's interesting about it is that it talks about the roles of a producer, anybody who facilitates parts of the creative process. And for most of us, we're good at one specific part of the creative process, or maybe most of them, but somewhere in the process of ideation to distribution, we need a hand. When you're giving that kind of help, you are in a production role. And so, like, all of that is to say, it's a good idea to connect with people whose skills are on all four areas of that quadrant. You know what I mean? They're in all four of those levels. And here's an example. I went to a networking event in Arizona called M3. I also went to a local group in Atlanta called Mixed Deity. Uh, Both of them had different things going on. The vibe in Arizona was a lot more professional. They were just ready to get moving with the project as soon as you talked to them. In Atlanta, there was a little bit more of a feeling out process. They needed to learn what they could be doing. A lot of them were the artists who were looking for some sort of supportive infrastructure to plug into. So if you live in Atlanta and you're looking to work on and develop a project, Mixed Deity is a good place to go. But if you live on LinkedIn, the Ghost Coast video community there is the premier place for all of your needs. If you need to talk to me and learn a little bit more about how I can help your life, whatever. I've also got something called a Now page. And the idea is, I want everything I'm talking about to be really easy to demonstrate at my fingertips. I have a client work folder, but is that really supposed to be public? Like if I'm talking to somebody about what kind of work I do, how is this whole thing going to be set up? You know what I mean? So that's part of why I made this page, and it just says what I'm doing right now. And it shows that I'm working on a podcast network. I'm going to have more things to show about that, like the next time you hear from me, probably, that I'm working on YouTube and LinkedIn, and that I'm doing local conferences. And if you knew me, you'd know that I was at Mixed Deity this week, that I'm making the YouTube videos that you're watching now, and that we're growing the podcast network. So we're getting there. This is part of the message, letting just people know what I'm doing right now so that they can plug in as soon as they meet me. Like, why have any barriers in the way there? It's not really fair that, your peer group will outrank your work ethic in life. You can be a very hardworking person, but you're not going to get past a peer group that isn't fully invested. You know, family can hold you back. Life environments can hold you back. You have to really intentionally surround yourself with the right people, or you're going to have a much more uphill battle than just being motivated. Lots of lazy rich people. They didn't get there by cramming in 10,000 hours of mastery in whatever they're doing. But the good news is you've already done the hardest thing there is to do. You've been born. You were just the best of a very crowded field. All right. And just because you don't remember it doesn't mean that it's not true. Second of all, your 10,000 hours in whatever you are good at. Maybe you're great at acting. Maybe you're great at talking. Maybe you're great at technology. Maybe whatever it is, you might be good at two different things. Wow. Big win there. It's probably useful to some group of people somewhere. And it is easier to succeed in a group. It's easier to find people who are interested. It's easier to have your weaknesses compensated for. It's easier to get there more comfortably, especially if you're all clear on what you want to accomplish. Your peer group will probably, again, outrank your work ethic. Think about who you're hanging out with, what you're spending your time on, what you're doing when you're in groups of people, because it's going to have a big impact on the rest of your life. Say no more. So, okay, check this out. This is podcast audiograms. Did this with until.org. You can see notes for each of these episodes. You can also see some of the highlights and really taking people through a journey of not feeling their best to really embracing, themselves and not thinking too much about the moment, but really thinking about themselves as a whole and complete person. I also got a little bit of time over the course of the last couple of weeks to talk to Cheryl Buchanan at Writers Without Margins. They have a film called In Their Shoes that talks about folks who are re-entering citizens and some of their struggle and their journey and what they do getting back into the public world. It was such a great conversation. I'm going to play a little bit of it right here with you.
The week, it's only Tuesday, so I can work backwards in the immediacy. I just got back from a workshop, and I'm first of all impressed that you looked at our visibility, what's out there in the public, that showed up quickly in your message. So I appreciate that, because I'm sure as a organization you get all sorts of marketing emails as well, and most of them are very apparent that they have no idea who you are and they're just blasting the world. So it was clear to me that you had actually taken a look at who we are. So I want to say that first and foremost. Thank you. I just got back from a workshop at a recovery center in downtown Boston that is more of a drop-in center, I would say, than a recovery center for unsheltered folks who are battling addiction and all of the challenges of homelessness and often likely mental health complications as well. And that is different every time we show up. So I think a little bit of my own personal mantra is to be over-prepared and adaptive. And it is hard to shake that. So when I say I just got back from that, there's always different people and different stories that we encounter when we go in there. And that's what's running through my head right now when you ask me that question. It's like the week, it's more.
So obviously that's a little rough because I'm still going to add the graphics. We're still going to do the audiogram processing, but you're going to get to hear just so much of that conversation, and it's really good. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. So check this out. This is The Rent is Too Damn High, and this is Detroit Action getting that, and it's great. It's just awesome. But of course, that work, it didn't just start out of nowhere. It didn't just come from nowhere. We did some graphics. We did.
Hi, my name's Antonio, and I'm just here supporting the Rent is Too Damn High initiative. We're local landlords in the area, hoping that one day we can make a difference to bring affordable housing to everyone.
I just want to say I'm a tenant, I'm a renter, I'm a victim, and I'm a recipient. I'm a recipient of this high receipt that I get from my rent. I'm a victim because being on a limited income, how can I pay $886 out of $914?
I'm Nick. I'm here because the rent is too high. We Americans can't pay for their basic needs. My sister is paying over $1,000.
Get the idea. You really want to have. We started with that, but once they got their eyes on those graphics, they wanted something that they could move in real life. So they were able to monetize that really easily. We made variations on the image that they could print in person, and it sold like crazy. And I don't have to come up with the fairy tale to explain to you why it did. Wow. I mean, just look at it. It just looks great. When it's real, you feel it, right? Okay. It's just good. It's just lovely. That's like a way to spread a message. Skepticism in life is normal. If people have a reason to doubt you, they will. And so I try to have a literal voiceover narration over whatever I'm describing. I can actually show this to you. I really want more than anything to be able to show what I'm talking about in real time. Like, hey, there's no reason to not be sure that I know what I'm talking about because you can see it. Bam. And you can even see that here on my own website. I can show you the people on my Discord. I can show you the work that I've already done. I can show you my speech being transitioned into a TikTok, and you just get that short visual proof. It just makes it easy for people to understand it and to know what to do next. For this, you just need to read this for free. Bam. And you'll get a lot more about how I do it. Let's talk about where content comes from. You know, I can look at what somebody is saying and write down answers. And, you know, the next time I'm in that kind of situation, I have thought about what they're going through. That's my number one place where content comes from. My conversations with people. It's very good to look at a conversation and think, oh, yeah, that was good. But not any app in the world is going to capture your entire life. If you're talking, you're thinking, you're walking, there's probably something there that's of inspiration and worth sharing. I like to look at TikToks. When I find a good video there, I try to remember it. I look at my past writing, and I especially like to keep track of what I was mad about in the past. And I ask myself, hey, am I still fired up about this? Can I take it on again with the tools that I've gained, or do I still have something to prove? I look at old bookmarks, and I find that writing a lot of the process is making the right things at the right time and being at the right headspace. So being able to put all of your best ideas in one place is a pretty good idea. That's it. I'm Brandon Buchanan. I don't quite have the juice to send everybody a custom-made video every week, but I do want people to hear from me by my own hand. I can help you find creative space, attract people, get your name out there, build funnels, products, memberships, mailing lists, and create your reality and achieve time and lifestyle freedom. I think that's it. See you later.